In this video, we're going to discuss what it means to get a student loan forbearance. So a forbearance is what you try and get if you're unable to get a student loan deferment. A forbearance is going to allow you to stop making payments or reduce your monthly payment for up to a year. Now, there are two types of student loan forbearances. One is discretionary type. That's the one that's harder to get because it's up to the loan servicer whether or not they grant you this forbearance. It could be for financial hardship. That's one acceptable reason. And also illness is another acceptable reason. But the thing is that with the discretionary type, you have to apply to the loan servicer and they have to approve your forbearance. It's totally up to the loan servicer. Even if you have financial hardship or illness, there's no guarantee that they will give you the forbearance, unfortunately. Now, there's a second type of forbearance, which is mandatory. So that basically means if you meet the eligibility criteria for this forbearance, you will be able to get it. And one way is if your monthly student loan payment is 20% or more of your gross monthly income. If that's the case, you will be able to get a forbearance. Also, if you are engaged in teaching service, if you're teaching at a school, and by virtue of doing this teaching service, it's going to qualify you for the teaching loan forgiveness program. If that's the case, you'll also be eligible for a forbearance. If you are in a medical or dental internship or residency program, you'll be eligible for a forbearance. Also, if you won a National Service Award, and now you're currently serving in that national service position for which you won the award, you're eligible. If you are in the National Guard and you're activated by a governor to go into service, that makes you eligible. And then also, if you qualify for partial repayment under the Department of Defense's student loan repayment program, if you qualify under that program for partial repayment, you'll be eligible to get a forbearance. Now, a few caveats. First of all, to even have any chance of getting a forbearance, you must apply to your loan servicer. You cannot just say, oh, well, I've got this national service position and therefore I'll be able to get this forbearance. You have to apply to your loan service provider. Even if it's a mandatory one, you still have to apply for the forbearance. Now, you don't stop making payments until your forbearance has been approved. So don't just submit the paperwork to apply for the forbearance and then just assume that your payments stop. You have to continue making payments up until the point where you find out that it has been approved, because otherwise, if you just stop making payments and you haven't technically been given the forbearance yet, you'll be delinquent on your student loans. You can end up going into default status. And if for some reason you're not approved, and obviously if you are coming to consider a forbearance, then you've already tried a deferment and you weren't approved for that, and now you can't get a forbearance. If that's the case, you might consider changing your repayment plan, right? So maybe you want to go on something like income-based repayment. Maybe that would be easier for you, or something like that. So look into changing your repayment plan if you're unable to get a forbearance.